You've tried the new routine, the early mornings, the gym, the clean diet, and it lasted maybe a week. Then you went back. Not because you're weak, not because you don't care, but because you were trying to build a new life on top of an old identity. And the identity always wins. Your brain is not a goal-setting machine. It is an identity protection machine. Every single day, without your permission, it scans your behavior, your choices, your words, and asks one question: does this match who I believe I am? If the answer is no, it pulls you back. Psychologists call this self-concept consistency. Your subconscious mind works around the clock to make your reality match your self-image. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most people who say they want to change don't actually believe they can. Not deep down. They want the result, but they still see themselves as the person who struggles, the person who quits, the person who's always almost there, but never quite. And so the brain protects that image every single time. Think about someone who grew up being told they were the responsible one, the one who held everything together, never asked for help, never showed weakness. Now they're 38 years old, burned out, disconnected, running on empty. And every book, every podcast tells them, set boundaries, ask for help, rest. They try. For a few days, they try. Then something inside them says, people who rest are selfish. I'm not that kind of person. That's not laziness. That's identity. Or take the man who watched his father work 2 jobs and still come home feeling like a failure. That boy absorbed a belief that no matter how hard you work, it's never enough. Now he's in his 40s, successful by every measure, but he still wakes up at 3 a.m. feeling behind. He doesn't need more discipline. He needs to confront the story that was written for him before he was old enough to question it. Discipline is a tool, and tools only work when they're aligned with the person using them. You can force yourself to go to the gym every day for 90 days. But if deep down you still believe you're the kind of person who doesn't take care of themselves, the moment the pressure drops, you stop. James Clear talks about this. He says the most powerful form of motivation is when a habit becomes part of who you are. Not, I'm trying to run, but I'm a runner. Not, I'm trying to be healthy, but this is who I am. The shift is not behavioral, it's existential. And that's what nobody tells you, because it's slower, it's harder. It requires you to look at beliefs you've been carrying for 20, 30, 40 years. Most people would rather buy a new planner. So what do? First, get honest about the story you're living. Not the one you tell people, the one that runs in the background. Ask yourself, when I imagine the person I want to become, does that feel possible? Or does some part of me immediately say, that's not for someone like me? Because that quiet resistance, that instant deflation, that's not reality. That's just an old belief doing its job. Second, stop trying to change your behavior. Start changing your evidence. Every action you take that contradicts the old story is a vote for a new identity. You don't have to become a different person overnight. You just have to cast enough votes that the pattern shifts. One honest conversation instead of avoiding it, that's a vote. One day you chose the harder thing, that's a vote. One moment you said, I follow through, and then followed through, that's a vote. Identity is not declared, it's built, quietly, one decision at a time. You don't need more willpower. You don't need another system. You need to look at the person you believe you are and decide if that story still deserves to define you. Because the life you want, it's not waiting on the other side of more discipline. It's waiting on the other side of a different belief about who you are. That's the work. And it starts now.